Hi, and welcome to the Your Story Studios podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things content creation. Today, I'm joined by someone that needs absolutely no introduction. But for those who don't know who you are and what are you doing here?
My name is Matt. I'm 25. I'm a camera operator assistant, all-around cameraman. And I don't know what I'm doing here. You asked me here, and to be honest, I'm still wondering why myself.
Well, hopefully we can talk about video production and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I hope so.
So Matt, or Jonesy, as you are affectionately known on set, how did you get into video production?
My journey in video production starts when I was about 3 years old. We did little home movies on VHS back in the day, and my starring role in Nick the Zookeeper, where I fell into a plant pot and cried. From ever then on, I liked cameras. I liked handling things around cameras. I always wanted to create stuff. And when I was in high school, I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I found out I liked video. I loved making it. And I just decided I want to do it forever. I went to university, went to Deakin and did film and TV. And now today I work on film sets. I work on corporate sets. I do so much different stuff, sports. I love it. And I just love being behind a camera.
Excellent. So you're on corporate sets today, you're on film sets. Tell me a bit more about that. What is your preference? And have you got any cool stories?
What is my preference? I think my preference is around, I just like doing all of it. I think having, variety is the spice of life. We've talked about that a lot. I like doing different stuff. It just keeps me fresh, always on different stuff. Doing film stuff is great. It's really creative. I like to just flex that creative muscle whenever I can. Even as an assistant, just being part of the process and doing that creative stuff, you just can't beat it anywhere else. Doing corporate stuff, staying to a strict schedule and having, money in the game, it really changes a lot about you. Just being motivated to be there. And then doing sport. I just love sport. I love kicking the footy around, I love just being a part of it, being part of the machine that creates sport and helps bring it to the world. That's incredible. So preference, just give me all of it.
Yeah, you like variety. I resonate with that. I do like variety. We met when we were doing stuff for a video agency, and we're still doing stuff today as well. And one of the things that I like about the agency work is there is a lot of variety, at least in the jobs that we get. It's not, all right, we're sending you out on a wedding today, and now it's another wedding, and like just doing weddings or just doing real estate or just doing talking heads. It's always nice to have a bit of variety in the work that we do. What would be your main motivation, I think, for doing the more film narrative stuff?
I think that, as artists, no matter if you're just a video producer doing that kind of corporate stuff or doing massive high-end cinematography, you're all doing creative stuff at the end of the day. And I think if you kind of let go of that creative muscle, you don't really get to flex it, you kind of get constrained a little bit. You don't really get to have that eye to the stuff you bring later on. I think a lot of people who just stick to the one thing will just lose that aspect of themselves, and not being able to flex that creative muscle kind of just restricts you as an individual. I think everyone kind of needs to do that in some way, no matter what it is. Even if it's taking photos, making cakes, just something. And I think that, everyone needs to have that chance to be creative.
Yeah, excellent. And while you're being creative and you're really appreciating having that outlet to flex that creative muscle, have you got any horror stories while you've been doing that, while you've been flexing?
Oh, too many. There are too many sets I've been on, especially in narrative stuff, where the people are just weird. I've been on so many sets where people are great, but so many where they're just weird. Or the last narrative set I was on, it's a short film with a local DP. For whatever reason, I was just so tired on that shoot. I just wasn't sleeping well, and came every day just with low energy, low brain power, and it just really showed in my performance. It was one of the worst performances as a camera assistant. Was just forgetting things, would open a box and couldn't find what was in it. Just all around being a bit of a failure. And just getting that sleep over the next few days, I came back to set, absolutely crushed it. But just having that experience where my brain couldn't function properly really impacted me. But on the flip side, I've had so many great experiences on set where I've met fantastic people, just like great cast, great crew, just people who I want to be around. And I've made so many friends in life just by working with them on set, having great experiences. And then when I see them on set in the future, it just brings me up because they're great people to work with.
Yeah, it's always good when you have great people to work with. It makes it not feel like a job. And once again, it feels like something that you want to be a part of, and really encourages you to flex that creative muscle, as we talked about before. For those that are watching or listening right now and they think, doing narrative film work sounds like a bit of fun. I'd really like to do that. How did you find yourself, or how do you find yourself on those sets?
The best thing is just networking, just talking to people who do that kind of stuff. Because if they like you and you can convince them to get on a film or whatever, you can just get away with it. Otherwise, just go out and do it yourself realistically. Like getting a script together of, 2 characters in one location for 10 minutes or 5 minutes even, that's really achievable to write. And it doesn't have to be anything flash, or it doesn't have to have a massive budget or massive lighting setups or anything elaborate like that. Just something, keep it constrained, keep it simple to start out. And then as you get more experience, then start progressing and doing cooler stuff. Yeah, it's so easy to get into film. It's so hard to stay around when there's no money in it, unfortunately. A lot of people find that they struggle to get decent paying work, but that comes with experience, comes with the territory. But yeah, just getting out there and doing stuff is so incredible, like being on set and being a part of that team, that full crew, the lighting team pumping, the production design, making everything look fancy, the sound team just being out of sight and out of mind, the camera team just absolutely firing. It's great to see.
And you mentioned and touched on a very important thing, that sometimes there isn't a lot of work in the narrative sector of film production. What would you suggest to someone that they want to get into it, but the money isn't there? Are there other paths that they could go in the meantime to get them there?
Yeah. So the other thing to do is just go for corporate work, realistically. Like, yeah, that's the bread and butter. You have your fun stuff that you do on the weekends, you do your film stuff. But then during the week, you got to make your bread. You got to go through the corporate stuff, whether that's weddings, whether that's doing commercials, whether that's doing just corporate pieces to camera, that kind of stuff. Just something to get your name out there and get money in the bank, really. Like that's what a lot of people do. They'll have the fun, cool film stuff that they do, but then they'll also have the stuff that gets them through the week.
And how do you get onto the radar of agencies or people that want to pay you to do those corporate shoots?
Oh, who knows? just go out and ask.
That's the $1 million question.
Just go out and ask. I think the best thing you can do is just put your name out there. And if nothing happens, then, oh well, such is life. I think just, putting your name out there. When it comes to more film work, you do have to kind of really network. Network is one of the biggest things. Whether it's corporate, film, just network, just talk to people. Whether you're at a social function or you're at like a networking function as well. If there's like a local camera guild that you're a part of, that you can just go and talk to people there. Or even just messaging companies if you want to be a video, production specialist and you just want to talk to companies and be like, hey, I want to do this little piece for you guys. Can I do this? And they bring you on. That's incredible. It's just chance and taking that risk.
Yeah, there is a lot of chance in it. I've heard so many times from different companies that, there's plenty of work in the future. We'll get you to do this project, and you do the project. You think you do a great job. Feedback's fine, and then you never hear from them.
Yeah, that's an all too familiar story for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it is also great when you do find those rare clients where they say they've got a project and there's future work, and then there is actually future work. And then you get that repetitive work, which is, very helpful for the bank account, and then also to help you keep going on this video production journey as opposed to stopping because the money's dried up.
Yeah, pretty much. It is just kind of perseverance, I think, in fact. You just have to keep going at it, keep hitting it. It does suck getting rejected, and it does suck doing a job that either doesn't turn out that well, or they just didn't like you for whatever reason, or you don't get called back and they did like you. It all just happens. But swings and roundabouts. I think for every 2 of those clients, you maybe have another one who likes you and wants you to keep coming around. And or even then, sometimes, you'll have a contract with someone and then 6 months down the line, they'll realize they don't like what's going on, or the person in charge changes and they just want a new team kind of fact. It's a fact of life. You can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, one of the most frustrating things with repeat clients, especially when you're getting your foot in the door with an organization and you've got a key contact, and then that key contact goes to another organization, and then the new person doesn't either know you exist because there wasn't a proper handover or whatever. So, and then you could have had lots of repeat business with that organization up until a certain point. Then there was the changing of the key contact, and then nothing. So that is a bit frustrating. When you do have quieter times, what do you do to keep yourself busy, but then also keep money coming into the bank account?
Oh, it's just try and get on those corporate things, man, because those corporate things, it's your bread and butter, but that's where you got to live, really. Even that's just working a couple jobs a week, doing camera stuff in whatever form, camera operating for an event, or just getting out there and even just doing some rigging and helping set some stuff up and doing some studio work. it's all just, peaks and troughs for work. You can't change it. It happens to everyone in the industry, whether you're working at the top end of town on, the latest Mad Max film, or you're, doing your low stuff just, here and there. You can't do anything about it. You just got to take it as it comes.
Yep, absolutely. So that's what you're doing today. What does the future for Jonesy look like?
The future for Jonesy, just keep doing what I'm doing, honestly. I think I just want to keep going onwards and upwards. I don't have higher expectations in my life of making $10 trillion or revolutionizing the world of camera, something like that. I just want to attain my peak in whatever form that comes. Maybe I want to become a camera assistant on those blockbusters and working with those, multi-million-dollar actors. That'd be awesome. I'd love to do that as a clapper loader. Or if that's just, reaching the peak of sport and working and being, across demand all over the world, just doing stuff with a camera, pull and focus, swing a big lens, all that kind of stuff. Whatever that looks like for me, I just want to take it as it comes. I have I have expectations in my life of where I'd like to get to and, points I'd like to reach. But you know what? I can't change that. I can only help fate get to where it comes. Yeah, it's going to take it where it comes.
So travel is something that's big for you?
Not particularly, but just a part of that's something that I'd like to see happen in the future. Let's see how it happens.
And Jonesy, to finish off today's episode, do you have any words of wisdom for the audience?
I think just perseverance. I think rejection comes in many forms for camera people and video production specialists. And it's just about keep getting out there, keep putting your name out there, keep networking, keep talking to people, keep trying to achieve your goals. Because even though you get knocked back for one job or another film that came up that you didn't get on or something like that happens, you just got to keep going for it because eventually it will come your way. You just have to give it time.
Great words of wisdom. Jonesy, thanks for coming on the Your Story Studios podcast.
Thanks for having me.